Is your magic meter running low? Well, we've got a cure for you. Welcome to Disney Coast to Coast.
Hey folks, and welcome to Disney Coast to Coast, the ultimate unofficial Disney fan podcast. I'm Jeff DePauli, and welcome to the House of Mouse headlines for the week of May 31st, 2020, brought to you by LaughingPlace.com, your up-to-date resource for the latest Disney news every day of the week. In this week's news, some big reopening plan announcements for Walt Disney World, a new way to explore Batuu, another international Disney Plus launch, and more, so let's get to it.
Hear the latest news from the Walt Disney Company in today's House of Mouse headlines.
In case you haven't heard, this week representatives from Disney went before the Orange County, Florida Economic Recovery Task Force, say that 3 times fast, to present their plans for reopening Walt Disney World's theme parks. Currently, the resort plans to reopen Magic Kingdom and Disney's Animal Kingdom on July 11th, followed by Epcot and Disney's Hollywood Studios on July 15th. Florida's Governor Ron DeSantis has signed off on Disney's plan, so the reopening process has begun. Following that main announcement, Walt Disney World has begun revealing some details about how the reopenings will work, while leaving some questions up in the air. First, it goes without saying that the parks will institute new safety measures and policies, such as requiring face coverings to be worn by any guest 2 or older, installing mandatory temperature checks, creating social distancing via floor markers and physical barriers, and adopting several enhanced sanitization protocols. They'll also be halting parades, fireworks, character meet and greets, and more for the time being. Additionally, the parks will introduce a new reservation system to ensure new limits on attendance are met. Speaking of reservations, Disney has temporarily suspended new bookings and ticket sales. This is so they can work to accommodate guests with existing reservations as well as annual pass holders before welcoming additional sales. Also notable is that Disney has decided to cancel any existing dining reservations, FastPass Plus selections, and bookings for other experiences through the end of the year due to new capacity limits on restaurants and in-attraction queues. And while it's still unclear when Walt Disney World plans to open all of their resort hotels, they did announce that Disney Vacation Club resorts as well as Disney's Fort Wilderness Resort and Campground will begin to reopen on June 22nd. Now, with this being such a major development and with all of the moving parts in Walt Disney World's operations, there is far more to this story than I could possibly fit into this section. Nevertheless, we'll hopefully have even more details soon as the Disney Parks reopening rollout continues, and for information being regularly updated, be sure to check out LaughingPlace.com. A few months ago, one sports writer took it upon themselves to detail why Walt Disney World and the resort's ESPN Wide World of Sports complex would be the perfect place for the NBA to resume and complete its currently suspended season. Well, now it looks like such a plan might actually come to fruition. This week it was revealed that Disney and the National Basketball Association were in discussions about the resort potentially playing host to the league's remainder of the season. This plan would allow play to resume while limiting exposure due to constant travel. Not only does the Wide World of Sports complex boast 3 arenas, but Walt Disney World also has more than enough hotel accommodations to support the players and team staffs. Part of the NBA's plan to resume games include a 2-week quarantine for players, followed by several weeks of training. While this idea might seem like a slam dunk, at this time, no official decision has been made, but teams are expecting an update no later than June 1st. In other sports news, this summer, ESPN will be broadcasting some classic Disney sports films. The first of these airings happened this past Friday as the network showed 1993's Cool Runnings, and the series will continue with Air Bud on June 5th. Rookie of the Year, which was originally released by Fox, just for the record, as well as Angels in the Outfield and The Mighty Ducks will also be broadcast on the network, although their air dates are still to be determined. By the way, surprisingly, only Cool Runnings and Rookie of the Year are currently available on Disney Plus as of right now, but The Mighty Ducks will arrive on the streaming service July 3rd. For those wishing that they could watch television and movies with their friends again, Hulu may have the next best thing. The streaming service has started testing a new Watch Party feature for certain subscribers. This social feature will allow groups of up to 8 viewers to watch select titles together and chat about them in real time. Each group member will be able to control their playback, such as hitting pause or rewind, without affecting anyone else. When they're ready to get back to the show, there's a click to catch up option that puts the delayed viewer back in sync with the rest of the group. Right now, the Watch Party test is only available to subscribers with the $11.99 monthly ad-free package, but with any luck, hopefully a similar feature will arrive on the regular Hulu tier and perhaps even on Disney Plus sometime down the road. Last December, Lucasfilm announced a new Star Wars-themed game show titled Star Wars Jedi Temple Challenge, hosted by Jar Jar Binks actor Ahmed Best. It was said to be headed to Disney Plus sometime in 2020. Well, this week, the company released a trailer for the show, accompanied by a bit of a change in plans. Now the series will debut on the Star Wars Kids YouTube channel instead. In fact, the first 2 installments of the 10-episode series will debut on Wednesday, June 3rd. Jedi Temple Challenge will test young Padawans' strength, knowledge, and bravery in a series of trials designed to discover who is capable of becoming a Jedi Knight. In addition to Best hosting the program, actress-comedian Mary Holland will portray a new protocol droid AD-3, while Sam Witwer, the voice of Darth Maul across many recent Star Wars projects, will serve as the temple's dark side presence. Star Wars Jedi Temple Challenge premieres Wednesday, June 3rd on StarWarsKids.com and the Star Wars Kids YouTube channel. Soon, fans won't have to head to a Disney theme park to enjoy an immersive experience on the planet of Batuu. This year, ILMX Lab and Oculus Studios will release a new virtual reality experience entitled Star Wars Tales from the Galaxy's Edge, giving players the opportunity to live their own adventure and explore a new part of the galaxy far, far away in virtual reality. The original story will feature both new and iconic characters from the Star Wars universe. In a statement about the upcoming release, Walt Disney Imagineering creative executive Scott Trowbridge said, "The rich storytelling in Star Wars Galaxy's Edge has redefined what a Disney park experience can be, and we are thrilled fans will have an opportunity to discover new stories, meet new characters, and explore new regions of the planet Batuu in Star Wars Tales from the Galaxy's Edge. Now our guests can immerse themselves in these stories both inside and outside our parks." Star Wars Tales from the Galaxy's Edge is due out later this year. In more galactic news, Lucasfilm Publishing has announced that the launch of their upcoming multi-year series, Star Wars The High Republic, has been pushed back to January 2021. The first 2 books, Charles Soule's novel Light of the Jedi, originally set for August 25th, and Justina Ireland's middle-grade novel A Test of Courage, which had been slated for September 8th, will now be released on January 5th. Next, Claudia Gray's young adult novel Into the Dark will now arrive on February 2nd instead of October 13th. Additionally, new release dates for the 2 comic series, Marvel's Star Wars The High Republic and IDW Publishing's Star Wars The High Republic Adventures, will be announced at a later time. So while fans will have to wait a bit longer for this anticipated project to begin, 2021 should be packed with Star Wars goodness. Heading across the sea, this week it was announced that Disney Plus would arrive in Japan on June 11th. The news was shared on the official Disney Plus Twitter account, with a new Japanese account, @DisneyPlusJP, also making its debut. Of course, this is just the latest international expansion for the streaming service after previously launching in Western Europe, India, and of course North America. As a fun random bonus fact, if you ever visit Japan, you may see ads for Hulu there. However, Disney actually doesn't own this iteration of the platform, with Nippon TV acquiring it in 2014. Anyway, Disney fans in Japan can start counting down the days until Disney Plus begins streaming on June 11th. Finally, in some more exciting news from the land of the rising sun, it was announced this week that the shopping district at Tokyo Disney Resort will begin reopening to guests on June 1st. The area had been closed since February 29th, but will begin welcoming guests back to enjoy select experiences during this phased reopening. For the time being, guests will only be able to enter the complex through certain entrances, and temperature checks will be required. Interestingly, those with temperatures over 37.5 degrees Celsius or 99.5 degrees Fahrenheit will not be allowed to enter, whereas most guidelines in America have set the limit at 100.4 degrees. As we've seen with other resorts, the reopening of these types of shopping centers is the first step toward theme park reopenings. However, the Oriental Land Company, which owns the Tokyo Disney Resort, hasn't made any announcements on that front just yet. Now that's going to do it for the news this week, so let's get to this week's Twitter poll where I said, we got the good news that Walt Disney World has a plan to begin reopening in phases. But what if they chose to open only one of their theme parks? Which would you choose? Your options, of course, were Magic Kingdom, Epcot, Disney's Hollywood Studios, or Disney's Animal Kingdom. In last place with only 3% of the votes was Disney's Animal Kingdom, followed by Epcot with 14% of the votes. Disney's Hollywood Studios got 19% of the votes, and the Magic Kingdom by far won with 64% of the votes. Do you agree with these results? Cast your vote in the Twitter poll every week by following Dizney CTC on Twitter. That's DIZNEY CTC. Now, folks, if you haven't listened to this past Wednesday's episode of Disney Coast to Coast yet, be sure to check it out, as a bunch of Disney travel advisors visited the show to share some travel planning information. And on this upcoming Wednesday's episode, Adam Wachter from the hit Disney Plus series Encore returns to the show to discuss the work of Stephen Sondheim in Disney projects. The best way to make sure you hear all of the magic is by subscribing on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and more favorite podcast listening platforms. And if you can believe it, folks, June is right around the corner, and June is a live stream Q&A month for members of the DCTC community. So head to patreon.com/DisneyCTC to find out how you can join us for next month's live stream and learn about other awards available to you. That's all at patreon.com/DIZNEYCTC. Other than that, folks, have a magical day. Bye!
Thanks for listening to Disney Coast to Coast. Have a magical day.
Disney Coast to Coast is produced and hosted by Jeff DePauli. Learn more about the podcast and become a supporter at DisneyCoastToCoast.com.